My name is Jarvis, ironic last name White. People frequently ask me about Iron Man, or they go on to ask me if I know anything about Will Smith or Urkel, because that's the combination of who I tend to be. It's a little awkward being here doing bar karaoke. It's one of the harder things to do because I know you all just want to drink and have a good time, and I'm just in here bringing down the vibe, but I just want about 5 minutes of your time to tell you a little bit about myself. The first thing I want to say is I do stand up. It's not normally something I like to tell people, especially if I'm going on dates, because generally speaking, the kind of dudes that do stand up are the kind of people that women don't want to talk to. But don't worry, I don't have a podcast, I have a journal. That's where I put all my ideas, just keep them to myself. No one ever has to see them. So if you ever see me at the bar writing, that's my journal. Don't ask me for my opinions. You don't want to know what they are. But, careful, sir. Please do not die recording the set. I don't want that. Performing feels good. I love creative outlets. I love karaoke. A lot of people know me for karaoke here in Canoe. And my favorite thing ever is when someone comes up to me and they say, "How do you know the words to that song? All those songs, you know all the words to all those songs." And it leads me to believe that they either do not understand how karaoke works, or they're surprised I can read. In any case, thanks, I guess. It's just, yeah. But beyond stand-up and beyond journaling, I consider myself a pretty cool dude. Sometimes I do karaoke, people come over to me and they say, "Oh, you're so articulate." I don't know if that's really a black thing or if that's just I'm good at speaking, but this venue here is cool. I was at a venue doing stand-up years ago in Australia, and I see this really beautiful lady who is a comedian, and she's giving me intense eye contact. And even though I look like the Temu Flavor Flav, I was like, dang, this is it right here. She's about my height. She's looking at me. I'm looking at her. I'm in the back of the bar, trying to flex up a little bit. She gets up on stage. First thing she says is, "So I'm legally blind." And she does a whole set about how she's legally blind. But don't worry, because she comes back to the bar. She's standing at the bar. I'm standing there. And I go up to her and I say, "Hey, I really like your dress. I like your look." We both had like these matching Nintendo things on. It was star-crossed. Just two nerds out in the wild trying to be funny. She comes up to me, she leans in really close because she's legally blind. And she looks at me and says, "Oh, you want to get some drinks with me after the show?" Oh, yeah. So I'm in the zone at that point. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm about to have a good time tonight. We sit down, we talk for about an hour, we're chatting, and she says, "So what are we doing after this, huh?" And I look at her and I say, "Yeah, what are we doing after this?" And she looks at me and she says, "No, really, what are we doing after this?" And I said, "Well, what do you want to do?" And she says, "Yeah, I'm asking you that. Can you please tell me what you want?" And I said, "Well, I want what you want." She said, Sir, I'm trying to make something happen here." So I say to this woman, "How about you come back to my place, Or not, we can just go to another bar or something like that." And she says, "Do you want to, listen, I'm not used to guys being this polite to me. Do you want me to come to your place? Or do you just want to keep drinking for the night?" And I said, "Okay, come back to my place." She says, "All right, I'll be right back. Let me go talk to my brother, gave me a ride." She walks out. I'm sitting there in the bar. She left. It's okay. I go back up to the bar. I sit down. My buddy's the manager of the bar, and he says to me, "Jarvis, what happened? She approached you. She was into you. She was talking to you. And no matter what I've told you today about my hobbies or the way I look, that night I realized something. She didn't reject me because I look like the rejected Will Smith. She didn't reject me because I'm a lackluster comic. She rejected me for my personality. And you don't just get that anywhere, okay?" Oh, it's true. I'm fine. Thank you very much, Karor.